So this will be the flow as we discussed. And now moving ahead. So when we talk about the coding, especially in the qualitative research, it's become a very, very important, you can say, step in the process of the qualitative research. So basically what the process is all about, that is identifying and labeling segment, you can say. When we talk about segments of qualitative data, like generally we used to conduct interviews, we are having focus group transcripts, we are having field notes, or we are having a textual data, right? So there are, we had certain observations. So we have audio and the video clips has also been there. So that is an important, you can say, important themes or the patterns or the concept, right? So from that particular data, we're trying to identify, you can say some information or you can say some data, you can say important themes, basically, you can say, or the pattern, what data, what story data is telling. So basically, it is involving assigning a word, you can say, or a phrase, or in simple language, we used to say it code, right? To chunks of data. So largely there's an interview, there's a conversation, but what the conversation is largely focused upon. There might be certain key points on which people are talking about. So we have to identify those particular keywords, you can 45 minutes or maybe a 1 hour. And if I've interviewed, for example, 20 people, for example, so I'm having 20 transcripts. So data is, you can say, in a large volume. And it's not that simple to like identify all the data and to get the findings as it is, right? So I have to organize, I have to available, right? So it helps me to interpret and to do the analysis of the data that, okay, whatever the conversation, whatever data I have collected, the data is telling this kind of a story. So basically, it helps me to give me insights that, okay, what is the basic, you can say, interpretation, what is the mindset, you can say, what is an observation, how people think, and what are the kind of themes that are emerging. And I can understand the underlying phenomena that, okay, this phenomena is emerging. This is a kind of psyche people are generally having, and we need to work around that. So when I talk about, there are two approaches largely that we are using. So first is deductive approach. This is a social phenomena is observed. See, largely in the qualitative research.
Camera off na?
Any questions?
Yes.
Priya, kindly mute yourself. So largely, so when you talk about the deductive approach, so we are talking largely about the social phenomena is observed in both inductive and deductive approaches. But when I'm talking about the deductive approach, so largely I'm talking about a theory development. The theory is developed to explain why it occurred. That means there is certain relationship, you can say, between the themes, and it is indicating something. So largely your stakeholder theory or whatever the theory, for example, we have talked about, lot many theories have been there, right? So all these theories are developed with the help of this particular phenomena, that why people act in a certain manner, or for example, how the decision making process of the people are governed in a certain society. So somewhere there's an underlying theory which I want to experience. I want to, you can say, what is underlying phenomena has been there. So theory is developed to explain why it is occurring. And then the theory is tested through the research, and the theory is either accepted, rejected, or revised. So lot many theories have been there. For example, Maslow's theory of motivation, for example, and we try to at times statistically test it also, right? So lot many theories are like that only. So is it still relevant? I want to test it statistically, and then when I talk about the inductive approach, because I'm starting everything from the scratch. So what I'm doing is I'm collecting data on the possible reasons that why certain thing is occurring, why certain event is occurring, why people behave in a certain manner. And I am looking for the trends in the data to examine that properly. And due to which what is happening, the theory is developed from the data. Now, in deductive approach, the theory is tested through research. So it could be statistics at times happens, right? And larger deductive approach, we are moving more towards testing the theory, you can say, at times, or whatever is existing, and try to look for the causal relationship. But when I talk about the inductive approach, I don't know that what theory is being there, but the theory is developed in the process from this data so that the social phenomena can be explained. That okay, this thing is happening because of this particular phenomena. And that phenomena can only be, you can say, understood when I'm going with the inductive approach. So if I give you one example, so the grounded theory researches are largely been based on inductive approach. While when I talk about it, already lot of studies are available, but still I want to understand, you can say that why I want to conduct a particular research. Like I shared my research with you on the whistleblowing. So already lot of research is available on nurses regarding whistleblowing phenomena, but still I want to test it again. So somewhat that is nothing inductive, you can say, but largely it's a deductive approach where I have utilized because already lot many variables are available, lot of studies are available, but still I want to understand that is there any new insight that I will be getting if I'm researching it again, the why phenomena. Now this is how the coding largely is being done. So as we can see in this, in in coding, so I'm having a theory, I create a hypothesis, I'm having an observation, I want a confirmation, or you can say the validation. So best for the first round of analysis, I can go with the inductive, determine the tags as you go along in the lengthier process, because it's a lengthier process. Deductive, information I'm already having, I will take out the pattern, the hypothesis have been made, and then the theory has been there. So best for the subsequent round of analysis. So use of a predetermined set of tags that already such kind of, you can say evidences are available. So you can say it somewhat give me a background. I'm having certain evidences. So this process is a little quicker if I compare it. Now moving ahead, this is a certain example of coding, like for example, teaching, science and mentoring. Now this is a code which I'm giving you. This is a simple thing. Now participants describe their increase in teaching and or instructional gains. That's their definition, teaching. Now purpose and meaning of code is identifying the TA's teaching or instructional gains from the course. Now the question could be, did the TAs gain knowledge in teaching? And in vivo description, I truly got to learn about how to better my teaching style and adjust to various individuals' levels of science. Now, if you just see, if I start from the in vivo description, then I go to the code, and then I further make it better, define it properly, and then I'm giving a one particular small code that is teaching. Now, if I talk
Is
about
it
the
in vivo
science,
description?
part,
What is this
participant,
in what is
yeah.
it this in vivo description?
See, description is basically that how participant is describing his or her experience. Like for example, participant describe their increase in science content and process gains. I'll just come. This is some example which I'm talking about. As you can see, in vivo description is given. That means a statement that is being given, you can say by the respondent during the interview. Got it? So I am interviewing some people and they are so what happens generally in interview, they are telling me certain some statement they are telling me, am I right? So whatever the statement they are saying, from there I have to get some sense out of it, am I right? So these so in vivo description is the initial, you can say, the phases that I'm already having. From that, I am trying to create some kind of a meaning that, okay, what they want to say about it, that is identifying the TA science content and process gains from the course. And this is that the TAs gain science knowledge. Now, definition, if I want to give any, so I am saying participant describe their increase in science content and process gains. So I can say the simple one code can be there, science. All right. So I start from in vivo and this is how it is moving. Open coding I did, I gave some meaning to it. What, why, for what reason I'm doing what is the purpose of it, right? It will going to become clear in the other slides also when I move forward, right? Now, how coding is done. So please just focus a little here. So what we have to do, first of all, don't rely on any software for this particular process. First of all, read the transcript on your own. First of all, do it manually rather than relying on the, you can say, the auto coding or the softwares largely. So whatever the manuscripts you are having, or you can say the transcripts you are having, especially that you have got from the interviews. So read and read the data so that you can gain an in-depth understanding. Now, largely what you will understand that when you're conducting a qualitative research, that most of the analysis will going to happen while you're interviewing the respondents. So we will get lot of information, lot of clarity while interviewing them also. But we should not be over carried away by that particular, you can say, notion that I know now everything. No. So you are taking into 1%, 2%, 3%. So somewhat you can say the initial themes or initial codes are already there in your mind that largely people are talking about this particular things, right? That they are talking about these particular factors or these particular phenomena. Now, take initial notes to identify key ideas or concepts that largely people are talking about. You can say these are generic one, which everybody is talking about. Now, the second is generating initial code. So first you have to get yourself familiarized with the data. And this is a process that you can follow there. Now, the next part is once that has been done, assign descriptive level or codes to relevant portion of the data. Now, see, I have to understand that if I'm having a conversation of 20 or 30 or 40 minutes, everything is not very relevant because at times people are talking about certain things, but they are focusing on certain areas, or you can say they are focusing on certain portions of the data that are very crucial. So assign descriptive levels. For example, the transcript which I have given to you, they are talking about certain aspects. Am I right? Right. So initially you are having certain research objective you already had. On the basis of that, you have already done, you can say the data has been collected. Now you have to check that whatever the research question you were having in your mind and the kind of the questionnaire you have developed on based on that, what kind of information is coming in. So codes, maybe words, it could be phrases or it could be category. Now, words could be price, for example. Price is a one particular word, am I right? Fashion could be one word. Cost could be one word. It could be like the word, single word. It could be phrases. It could be in a form of small sentence. Then it could be categories also. Like, for example, gender. I'm putting it into color. So, or it could be in categories that capture the essence of the data. So what I'm trying to do, I'm initially trying to codify, or you can say I try to identify, you can say the initial codes, you can say, जिसे हम कहते हैं initial coding. And then once that has been done, I'm talking about, अब हमने एक बार initial हमारे generate codes कर लिए. Now again what we will do? We will again review and refine the codes now. So initial first order codes मेरे पास आ गए. Once I have done, so what I will do? Now there are certain codes which are very similar. So can I code them together so that I can create some categories, for example? Right? Now, what I'm doing here now is, that is the second level, eliminate or merge overlapping codes. So there might be some similar, you can say, initial codes that can be combined or that can be clubbed together. So what the process is, group the similar codes together to create categories and then eliminate or merge overlapping codes to define the content process. This is a second level coding. So what I'm doing, I'm grouping the similar codes and then I'm eliminating or merging the overlapping codes so that, so initially if I'm having 40, you can say in the initial codes, if I'm having in the first round of coding, this is known as open coding. So from 40, there's a possibility when I am moving to the second order, the 40 might get reduced to 20 or maybe 15. And when I'm going to the final, that can be, now it all depends on you, that first order, second order, third order, and then the final one. All right, so it can be 3 step, it can be 4 step. So in the open coding, I've already done. Then I'm going for the axial coding, and then I'm going for the selective coding. So this is a 3 step model. Open coding, axial coding, and then I'm going to the selective coding. So the process of refining will continue. And how it will happen, I'll tell you in the coming when I will do it. Then I have to identify themes. And how to identify themes? I have to look for patterns. Now, when I talk about patterns, I have to look for relationship. That is there any relationship between the codes that I've identified? So basically, I have to look for the relationship. I have to look for the similar patterns, similarities and dissimilarities. So basically, How the overlapping is being checked? When I am looking for the patterns. Is there a relationship or there is no relationship? Right? So if there's a relationship and we can club it together, that means there's an overlap. So I can merge them together. That means some pattern has been there, right? Then from the broader themes, so relationship between codes to form broader themes that can encapsulate. So that means from micro, now I'm moving towards macro. Now you have to develop a thematic framework to describe the major findings. That what are the major findings? Once that has been done, revisit codes and themes to ensure consistency and reliability. How you will going to do it? Now, for example, you have done coding on your end, and then your other author is also doing the coding. The two researchers or three researchers are doing, you can say, separate coding. So initial coding they have already done. Second order also they have done, and then they are sitting together just to revisit the whatever the codes they have developed and the themes they have identified. Is there any consistency? So largely when we look, when we report, when we write about the methodology, we talk about that how much consistency was there, especially when the coding process was going on. Then we are seeking peer review or we triangulate data for validation. So data validation के लिए हम triangulation को यहाँ पे हम use कर सकते हैं, and that will going to help you that whether the coding that has been done by you is correct or not, or you can say is there any consistency and reliability.
सर ट्रायंगुलेशन वाले वर्ड को थोड़ा सा एक्सप्लेन करेंगे प्लीज?
Which one?
मतलब हमने ट्रायंगुलेशन
So when you are doing independent coding, so what will happen? Your results will be different from other persons. So in that way, and when you are matching your results with each other, so you are trying to do a kind of a validation that, okay, whatever the themes you have identified and what other people have identified, are they similar or they are different? Right?
Okay, sir.
So, yeah. So in this way, what we can do, we can little bit validate it so that we can get a clarity that, okay, we are moving in the right direction. And then we can discuss and deliberate that, okay, if there is some large differences, so why those differences are coming in?
Sir,
And how to
does triangulation means that coming to a consensus?
Yes. So triangulate is basically validation. That I did a validation from one point, then another point, and then third point. So triangulation, when we look for the data, the triangulate data for validation, for example, you are doing primary and secondary data you are using, for example, and also you are using, you can say literature. So literature is already a secondary thing which is already available. So what your data is saying is somewhat, you can say literature is also suggesting so similar themes are coming in, right? And also if you're doing, for example, quantitative one, so similar kind of data is coming from there also. And moreover, when the three researchers are also coding, for example, the kind of themes they're coming up with, and when you are looking at the themes, so I can still validate, okay, I am on the right path. So there are lot many ways, ma'am, to validate it. Now, this is what generally we used to go with, right? So first is the focus group we have already done. That is list of the main topics we have already organized. Then we go for the individual interviews, and there we have a transcription of the individual interviews. We take notes. Then codification by expert one. Now, can you see that what I was talking about? Codification by expert one, codification expert two and three. Now, so first tentative coding you have already done. Now, what is happening? Individual refinement of codification and then reviewed by all experts. So then first individually you people are doing, and once you have done it, then all the three experts, you can say they're sitting together for the further refinement of the codification, which is done by the other expert. So this is also kind of a validation that you are doing. And then individual interviews coded and reviewed by all experts. Then you do filtering that, okay, which you can say codes you want to keep and which codes you want to remove. And then you start doing classification. Classification, you can say under particular themes, you start doing classification of the data. And this is how the final categorized coding system comes in. Is this figure clear to everyone? Any questions?
Yes, sir. Good enough.
All right. Now, what I was talking about, this is a Creswell's visual model of the coding process in qualitative. Now, what is happening? when you're reading initially your transcript, there's a lot of data, many pages of text. Am I right? Then what do? You divide text into segments of information because entire whatever the data you have created, entire data is not very relevant, right? So there is some relevant data also, there is some irrelevant data also. So I have to segregate it. So many pages of text then get segregated into many segment of text. Now, when you start labeling segment, to 30 to 40 codes are coming in, that is initial. And then after reducing the overlap and redundance, the code reduced to 20. And when we further collapse the codes into particular themes, it gets reduced from 20 to 5 to 7 themes only, because we could see that, okay, we can still merge it. So हम क्या करेंगे, 40 है, 40 से हमने 20 किया, 20 से 5 to 7, depending upon the kind of, you can say, the data you have got and what is the richness of the data, and moreover what largely people are talking about. So this is a simple process. I hope up till here this is clear to everyone, right? Rupa, is it clear to you? Now this is how the coding has been done. So what I'm doing, open coding, initial and unrestricted coding, which I'm doing with the data is broken down into discrete parts. And then I'm assigning the codes, you can say, to capture key ideas. Now what is happening? So highlighting responsive related to challenges, for example, faced by employees. Axial coding, when I'm doing, that is a second level. So what I'm doing, I am now trying to establish, you can say, the relationship between the categories that I have identified initially and the subcategories. So there's a main category and then there are subcategories, right? And then that is identify connection between open codes to refine categories. That is there any relationship? So that is connecting workplace challenge to lack of resources or team conflict. Can you just make some sense out of it from this particular example? I did open coding and I identified challenges faced by employees. Now, when I'm doing for the axial coding, that is the next level of coding. So I can say that people are largely talking about the workplace challenges. Now, when I talk about the workplace challenges, can I say that, okay, in the workplace challenges, lack of resources or team conflict are part of it? Anyone?
Yes, sir, it makes sense.
Does it make, right? So they are related,
Yes, sir.
right? So workplace challenges are related to lack of resources and to team conflicts and to challenges faced by employees, right? So I can say, and when I move to the next part, that is the selective coding. So I can say employee dissatisfaction. So I can say employee dissatisfaction. Why this employee dissatisfaction is coming in? Because of the challenges which are faced by them. Right? So largely we are talking about employee dissatisfaction and what are the reasons for that? For example, the challenges which are faced by them. So I talk about initial challenges, I'm talking about the various kind of challenges. So that is leading to, for example, one particular thing, that is employee dissatisfaction. So I can say, identifying the core category or the central theme that connects all other codes. And then refining, and then I'm integrating that particular data around a central concept. So I can say that employee dissatisfaction is the core theme. Does it make some sense here with this particular example? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. We agree.
Right. Now, as you can see, many pages, many segments, 30 to 40 codes, reduced to 20, reduces to 5 to 7. I think this will be remembered by all of you. Now just move ahead. Now, this is how it happens. This is a simple, you can say, kind of a format that we're generally using. Now, when I'm doing the open coding, not many categories are actually appearing. Now, that is, you can say, the casual condition. Now I'm moving to the next part. That is the core category of the phenomena. That is, you can say, the axial coding paradigm. So largely the grounded theorists are actually select an open coding category and use it as a core phenomenon in the axial coding paradigm. So initially I'm doing the open coding, then I'm moving to the core category of phenomena, and then that leads to particular strategies, or you can say the intervening conditions. So I'm trying to make a link that, okay, why such particular thing is happening. Like for example, I give you one example here. COVID was something very unique experience for everyone. But why people are behaving in a certain manner during COVID, we want to understand that phenomena. Now there are lot many things which are contributing to that particular phenomena. So are there certain conditions, for example? Is there any context to it? Are there any casual conditions? Are there some core categories? What are the consequences? And on the basis of that, I can easily propose one particular grounded theory. Fair enough? Shall we
So
move?
in simple words, if we think about it, like you shared those transcripts.
Yeah.
So open coding is only that first we are figuring out some broad information which we
Yes,
can
absolutely.
understand.
Yeah,
And then we categorize them, submerge them, maybe converge them into more
absolutely. Yes. More refined version. Dr. Shilpi, you are there?
which makes sense.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yeah, actually, we were frozen for a minute.
Uh-huh.
So broadly, we categorize them into the open coding means that in those broad categories, we are converging them and
Right.
then further reducing that into more concrete and crisp understanding of
Absolutely.
how we put that. And
Right.
then what is the last stage that you related with grounded theorists, that what are they doing? Can you connect with that once again, please?
Yeah. So open coding I've already done, correct? Then you went to the axial coding where now you're trying to like identify some relationships you can say between the categories that have emerged, categories and subcategories we can say. And then I'm moving towards the selective category, selective one, last one. Selected themes, you can say selective themes which I'm having. But when I'm going with the inductive method, especially when I'm using the grounded theory, in grounded theory, so I'll repeat my example again. For example, COVID. COVID was very unique. Nobody has experienced that earlier. So we were not having any enough evidence, you can say, that why people are behaving in a certain manner. I want to understand that what is that underlying phenomena that people are behaving in such a particular manner. In that particular way, so what I'm trying to understand, what is a causal condition? Is there any cause and effect relationship which is existing there? Are there certain, you can say, intervening conditions? Can we say, is there any context to that particular, is there any context that the way people are behaving in this particular situation? Is there any consequence which is emerging out of this particular context, intervening conditions, you can say, and the casual condition which are appearing? Is there any particular phenomena which I can perceive? You can say that I have not realized earlier or I have not experienced earlier. And so I want to understand that is there any particular phenomena? And so basically, phenomena is getting converted into a theory that this thing is happening and that is why people are behaving in this particular way. Then that, for example, uh, theory of planned behavior, for example. So when I talk about the theory of the planned behavior, how people make a decision and how people apply their rationale or logic, right? So there are two ways. If I am not going to, if I don't want to propose a particular theory, so then I might be testing a particular theory in my qualitative research. So if you have seen my nurses paper, so there we have used patient advocacy theory. So that is very much aligned with the topic which I am doing. So when the patient advocacy theory I am working in, so that means already theory is existing. So I need not to propose a new theory there, but I can add some new dimensions to it if I am conducting a qualitative research. There is a possibility, there might not be a possibility. Both ways are it's possible, right? I can improvise on the existing theory and I may propose a new theory. But I have to say that, okay, what are the past evidences which I am having, right? So this is how it works. So I can test it through the lenses, you can say, of the past theories which are already existing, or I may want to create a new one if nothing has been known that why people are behaving in a certain manner or why there is a particular phenomena, which the kind of phenomena which we are experiencing, which we have not experienced earlier. Now this is how it happens. Level 1 coding is initial coding, जिसे हम open coding भी बोलते हैं. Level 2 is focus coding, that is category development. That is level 2 coding re-examines level 1 codes and further focuses on the data. Level 3 is axial और the thematic coding, जिसे thematic analysis भी आप बोलते हैं कई जगह पे. तो ये axial coding है. previous coding is started to develop highly refined. So level 1, level 2, level 3, and then we move to the last one, that is theoretical concept emerge from saturated categories and themes. Ki already we have identified, we had similarities, we had dissimilarities, and now nothing more is emerging out of it, and we have got our final themes. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now this is how the things are. So I am having descriptors. Descriptors are basically characteristics of entire text or their creators. Largely, when we take the you can say the comments, statements, they are descriptions. When I talk about the themes, from the descriptors, I got themes. The general explanatory discussion of concept or ideas, you can say. Codes are conveying the central ideas. So when somebody is saying culture, your work culture. So culture itself describes not many things, am I right? It is self-explanatory at times. So that one particular word is actually self-explanatory and it is describing lot many other things which are related to it. Ideas are contribution of segment of text. All right. If I'm saying that, okay, the organization is not providing very good growth opportunities, the culture, the people are not very supportive, the policies are not very great. So what I'm basically talking about, there is no flexibility in the system. What I'm talking about basically, I'm talking about culture. So and the sentences I gave you, you can say the comments which I gave you, basically what are they? They are the descriptives. They're the characters, they're attributes which people are talking about. Flexibility नहीं है, फलाना नहीं है, ढंकाना नहीं है. Ultimately, अगर मैं work culture की बात कर रहा हूं, तो people are talking about work culture only. And this is how it happens. Interview transcripts हैं आपके. For example, ये एक research है आपकी कि why do people turn vegan? Now, आपके पास interview transcripts हैं. अब वहां से कुछ quotes आपने उठाए, यहाँ पे देखिए. I always thought about the animals that suffer a lot when we actually eat meat. Why should some animal die for us? We can very well live without meat. I think we have to act consciously. We cannot just think about ourselves. It seems to be a health trend. It just suits my lifestyle and I want to turn really old. Then everyone is doing it right now. So why not trying it out? It is like a hipster thing. Now, these are quotes or paragraphs that I have got from the transcripts. Now, these transcripts, now what they're talking, the first order themes will be right? So now, you know the theme. So the animal rights and other people. So what you can say? Ethical reasons. Now you can see how it is getting connected. Does it make some sense?
Yes,
Shall
it
we move
does.
on? So thematic analysis, or you can see the coding happens. So familiarize yourself with the data. Generate your initial themes, initial codes, you can say through the open coding. Search for themes, review themes, define and name themes. And it is not necessary कि you have to name the themes जो already literature में available है. हाँ, अगर similar themes है, you can align them. अगर नहीं है, you have to name them. And then finally produce the report. That is what will be the final output out of it. So qualitative data that leads to coding, interactive comparison that leads to themes. That is the final themes that we are reporting in our research. And this is how it happens. So data familiarization, collection, familiarization, coding process, creating initial codes, collapsing codes into themes, refining and defining themes, interpreting themes, and then reporting findings. So this is a simple process that we are largely following, especially when I am conducting, you can say, the thematic analysis and the coding process. So again, so when I go with the manual coding, so this is how I can go. Familiarize yourself, initial coding, theme development, theme review and refinement, defining and naming themes and reporting findings. I'm just reiterating it again and again with the help of the same example, just to make it register, get it registered in your mind. And again, this is a simplified illustration that is of Saldana's thematic analysis approach. I have data. I do the open coding initially. Now you can see that the three codes are getting merged into one particular category. The two codes are then getting merged into second category. So now tell me, in this particular example, how many codes are there largely if you just look at initially? Around 10. Initially, with the help of the open coding, I am having so open coding when I'm doing, so then it leads to category. Now you can see in the second order, that is an axial coding, I told you that we try to look for a relationship between the categories. So you can see there's an arrow between category 1 and category 2. And then there's a relationship between category 3 and category 4. So can I say that is a third level, that is the high level category, and then category 3 and 4, they are getting merged into high level category team. So that means I'm having two major themes and then it is getting submerged into the final themes, which हम कहते हैं selective coding we are doing here. Right? Shall we move ahead?
Sir, could you explain this with an example because this
Yeah.
Dana's approach is quite confusing.
अब यहाँ पे देखो, सबसे पहले यहाँ पे हम एक छोटा सा एग्जांपल लेते हैं. Can you see this diagram?
Yes.
There are themes, there are sub-themes, and there are linkage to sub-themes and relationship between themes. Correct? If you look at the pattern, what are the major sub-themes here? Tell me. If I talk about the factors inhibiting well-being promotion, so there are certain categories, or you can say the subcategories. What are they? Tell me.
So you're asking about the sub-themes, correct?
I'm talking about the major themes that you can see in this particular diagram.
Okay.
Major
They are that
themes.
factors inhibiting well-being promotion,
Right? Second,
recognizing student well-being,
right?
then best
Recognizing
practice in
student
well-being.
Right? And recognizing adequate well-being, right? Four
Yeah.
major themes are there.
Correct.
Now, are there any sub-themes to it?
Yes,
Let's take
underneath.
recognizing educator well-being. Are there any sub-themes to it or subcategories to it?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes. What is that? Source of negative effect,
Yes.
actions to improve adequate well-being.
Right, sir.
Right.
So if we are talk about sources of negative effect and actions to improve adequate well-being, it is getting merged in recognizing adequate well-being. So now you tell me, these are two different themes that I have initially identified. Is it actually are these two subcategories, sub-themes, are they merging well in recognizing adequate well-being theme? Naveli, what you said?
So, I would want to know, how is the factor, sub-theme, the theme of recognizing educator well-being
Yeah.
related to factors inhibiting well-being promotion,
Right.
promotion.
Now,
I'm confused about that.
correct. Now see what is happening. All these themes are coming from the data that you have collected, right? From the
Right.
data that you have collected. So what you are doing, the data which you have initially collected, this is basically about the well-being, educator well-being data has been collected, and whatever the sub themes you are seeing, na, these are the open codes you can say in this particular example. For example, lack of training, lack of value of well-being promotion, knowledge of necessary documents, time constraint, actions to improve, social
Yeah.
negative effect, active delivery. So you can say the outer, you can say the boundary, you can say these are the subcategories. Will you agree with that? Now when I'm moving from the open coding, so initial कह सकते हैं initial coding से मुझे ये सारी चीजें मिली, लेकिन मैंने देखा क्या इन सभी को हम फर्दर इनको क्या मर्ज कर सकते हैं कहीं पे. तो हमने क्या किया, जो सिमिलर थे हमने उनको एक साथ रखा. तो हमने बनाया, तो हमने क्या बनाया, रिकॉग्नाइजिंग एजुकेटिव वेलबींग हमारा एक थीम बना जिसके अंदर ये दो सब्ज्यूम हो गए.
Correct.
फैक्टर्स इनहिबिटिंग वेलबींग प्रमोशन, तो क्या है कि कौन से फैक्टर्स हैं जो वेलबींग को इंपैक्ट करते हैं. तो हमने बोला लैक ऑफ ट्रेनिंग है, टाइम कंस्ट्रेंट है, वैल्यू ऑफ वेलबींग प्रमोशन है, नॉलेज ऑफ नेसेसरी डॉक्यूमेंट है। ये क्या हम इसमें कह सकते हैं कि ये द फैक्टर्स इनहिबिटिंग वेलबींग प्रमोशन। और यहाँ पे देखिए रिकॉग्नाइज स्टूडेंट वेलबींग, नेगेटिव इफेक्ट्स, एक्शंस टू इंप्रूव स्टूडेंट वेलबींग। तो ये जो सारी चीजें हैं अभी आप देख सकते हो जो लास्ट है, बट देयर इज अ रिलेशनशिप बिटवीन ऑल द थीम्स दैट वी हैव आइडेंटिफाइड। इज इट रॉन्ग टू से that the factors that inhibit well-being promotion, that is also impacting and recognize the educator well-being? And are they not connected to the student well-being? And are they not connected to the best practice in well-being promotion? Naveli, what you say?
It makes sense now. They are connected.
They are connected, no?
Yes, yes, they are.
So just take any one, for example, right? Best practices को हम लेते हैं दोबारा से, whole approach, then active delivery. ये best practices हैं। तो ये हमारी सब कैटेगरीज हैं, लेकिन हमारी मेजर थीम यहाँ पे क्या हुआ, बेस्ट प्रैक्टिस है। बट स्टिल वी हैव टू आइडेंटिफाई दैट इज स्टिल देयर एनी रिलेशनशिप यू कैन से बिटवीन द वेरियस कैटेगरीज दैट हैव आइडेंटिफाइड। This is how the coding works basically.
Okay.
And as a researcher, you should know that how things are correlated and whether they are not related. Or can we merge them, for example? So you can see then in the factors inhibiting well-being promotion, I have merged 4 subcategories in one category, major category, correct?
Yes, correct.
Yeah. And this is again the same thing that we have done.
Sir,
So what I'm doing, I'm getting some keywords. So what you do, you are having transcripts, you are getting familiar with the data and how you're getting it when you're reading it. So from that, you start your coding process. That is the open coding. You started, then you develop theme 1 and you have to name it. Then you go for theme 2, name 3, whatever the number of themes which are coming in. Then you start interpreting it, conceptualizing it through interpretation of keywords and codes. And then you start merging them for some, after identifying the similarities, and finally you're moving towards the final conceptual framework, and then you name a model. That is the development of conceptual model. Just look at this model and tell me in case there is some issue. Then I can come to the exercise part also.
I want to ask one thing. In the previous one where we were discussing that the outside the sub themes are the open codes kind of thing. So now, just like quantitative analysis, do we also like the whole school approach, this terminology which we state after converging into or submerging into axial coding, they come from literature, or it is something that we know from the knowledge of the subject?
See, there are both ways.
The technical terminology from where it comes.
So I'll tell you, when I talk about the coding, so there are different thoughts on it, especially when you go for the coding. So some people say that do literature review initially when you are going with the coding, when you start doing a qualitative research, right? That, okay, what kind of work is already available? So that you get some idea, because you're researching on certain topic ना, अब इतना novel भी नहीं होगा कि किसी ने कुछ नहीं करा है इसके ऊपर, तो you can further identify things. लेकिन कई लोग क्या कहते हैं, that you start, don't read the literature initially, but collect the data and start working whatever you're having in your mind. And once you will start that, then something new will be coming in, क्योंकि एक pre-conceived जो bias है, तब वो notion नहीं होगा वहां पे। लेकिन जब हम प्रोसेस की बात कर रहे हैं, तो डेफिनेटली ये प्रोसेस आपका लिटरेचर से ही आता है, दैट वी शुड वर्क लाइक दिस ओनली, कि दीज आर द थ्री टाइप्स ऑफ कोडिंग दैट वी शुड लार्जली आर यूजिंग, यू कैन से इन द क्वालिटेटिव रिसर्च।
I got your point. But जैसे आपने जो transcripts भेजी ना, when we were reading those transcripts, in general, till the time I'm aware of what kind of terminology is used in a particular topic, I will not be able to frame or maybe define them in that this kind of a proper way.
Right. So that is why your research questions,
Yeah.
that is why research questions are important. They paves your way that what you want to do and why you're doing it.
Okay.
So the research questions has to be absolutely clear. Let me come to the data, then I'll tell you that, and you will connect the dots then.
Sure, sir.
So this is how we are doing the triangulation. That way there was a question. All right. So you can see triangulation research, data source 1, data source 2, the data triangulation. The primary source, it could be secondary source, and then I could collect the dots, and that is the data triangulation. And this is a very beautiful approach we should use always. Then methodological triangulation can be there. That can be quantitative and qualitative method. That means the mixed methodology is basically methodological triangulation that we are using. Then investigator triangulation. Researcher 1 is there, researcher 2 is there, then they're doing. Then there could be a theory triangulation also. Theory 1, theory 2 also. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Great. And these are the other common coding types that we are generally using. The first is descripting, assigning labels that summarize the basic topic or data segment. So generally what we are using nouns or short phrases. Okay, for example, elegance or fashion, fashionable or fashion. In vivo coding, that is, we are using exact words as codes to capture authentic language. For example, the data which I have give you, now I will ask you that which coding you have used. So please just look at these particular words that we are using here. Useful in preserving the participant's voice. That means you're using the actual exact words which participant have used. Then thematic coding, I am trying to identify the recurring patterns or themes across the data and that frequently used in thematic analysis. And then I am going with pattern coding, you can say. And in the pattern coding, what I'm trying to do, I try to identify, you can say, grouping similar coded data into smaller group of themes. So what I'm doing, I'm trying to identify the causal relationship or explanation that this phenomena is happening because of this particular aspect. And when I talk about the process coding, it assigns codes to capture actions or processes in the data, right? That is process coding. That is useful analyzing, you can say, the procedural or the chronological event. That, okay, first this thing happened, that thing happened. That means the process. What is the process that has been followed? And then the emotion coding. So that means what kind of emotions people are having, what kind of attitude they're having. So largely when you talk about the sentiment analysis, or the values that have been expressed by the participant, that is basically emotion coding. Shall we move ahead?
So there's a
So,
question in chat box.
Okay. Yeah. No, no, no. In vivo is very different. Not en vivo. En vivo is different. En vivo is the name of a software. In vivo is basically a coding process in which we are using the exact words which your respondents have used. Right? En vivo is the name of a software. In vivo is a coding type. This is a basic difference. Right.
sir, I have a doubt.
Yeah.
When we do in vivo coding, so what sort of research are we dwelling into when we are trying to do in vivo coding specifically, considering it captures the authentic linguistic part
Right.
of the transcript? Yes.
Right, right. So what is happening when you are going through a particular data? So what happened? We used to prepare memos, right? At times when we are interviewing people, Naveli, you will understand at times there are certain codes, there are certain things which people have said, and you will agree that get remembered by us, correct? And
Correct.
then largely what happens that people are using a similar kind of you can say language, or you can say similar words. So what I
Right.
do, I pick that particular word and I put it. Like for example, uh, pricing quality. So for example, quality of the cloth. जो आप ये जैसे for example आपको जो मैंने ट्रांसक्रिप्ट भेजे हैं तो उसमें अगर आपने अगर कोडिंग करी अगर इन विवो कोडिंग करते हैं तो वहां पे किसी ने बात करी है that people that are more concerned about environment, राइट? तो एनवायरमेंट जी तो अगर आपने एक्चुअल कोड को यूज किया है वो इन विवो कोडिंग होते हैं एग्जैक्ट वर्ड्स विदाउट एनी मैनिपुलेशन उसमें आपका कोई रोल नहीं है वॉट एवर द वर्ड्स आर इन देयर यू हैव यूज्ड दैट सिंपल
So, this is a question. Coding to
नाउ सो दीज आर द वेरियस सॉफ्टवेयर दैट वी आर यूजिंग सो hierarchical coding and
I
advanced query functions and
so I guess
maxqd and with this I am just putting an end to my presentation and let's come to an exercise, right? So any questions from the basic the concept that I talked about?
I just wanted to know that difference in the answers of the
Sir, can you please explain that slide you have showed, that framework slide, sir? Can you please explain that again?
Just a minute, ma'am. Which one, ma'am? This one?
No, sir. Next. Next. Yes. How to develop that? Yes, yes, sir. This one.
Okay. So this is a simple process which we have discussed earlier also, that initially you have to go with the transcripts and then you get familiar with the data. That is a step one. That is selection of quotations. And from once you have read the transcripts, so what you do, you get the keywords, na, which are appearing again and again. So largely when we do the auto coding also, so what we are doing actually in the auto coding, basically the words which are being utilized largely, or you can say which are getting repeated again and again, that are the initial keywords, right? And from those particular keyword, when we start with the coding process, all right, so keywords I'm already having, then I go with the coding part, and once the open coding has been done, then I'm start giving it a name. Then that means I start coding that is axial coding, or you can say start identifying the themes also. Correct? Name of the theme has been there, theme 1, theme 2, and then theme 3. And then I try to interpret it. So ultimately, all the themes are basically contributing to a certain concept. That is interpretation of keywords and code and things, that what they are basically talking about. And basically, then it leads to the final conceptual framework that, okay, whatever the themes I've identified, they are basically talking about a certain aspect. Like for example, हम पीछे जाते हैं, ये जो हम यहाँ पे वेलबींग वाला जो हम देख रहे हैं मॉडल, तो बेसिकली टॉकिंग अबाउट द स्टूडेंट एंड एजुकेटर वेलबींग, राइट?
Yes, sir. Yes.
So this could be the final conceptual model I can bring in. So if I talk about the well-being in the academic setup, so I can talk about, I have to talk about the educator well-being, I have to talk about the student well-being, and what are the factors that are impacting. So I can make a conceptual model out of it. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Right. Now let's come to a particular exercise, and let me just go to one particular paper.
Sir, I have a question.
Yeah, ma'am.
My question is, I'm going a little bit backward, sorry for my voice. Uh, like in quantitative research, we generally develop the questionnaire or we use standardized questionnaire. If we develop it ourselves, we look for the reliability and validity. How we develop the interview questions for qualitative research?
Right. So, ma'am, what I'll do when I will be making the questionnaire development partner, there I will tell you.
Okay, so we are doing that. Okay.
Yeah, we will be doing
Thank you.
that, right? So I just, because that has to be done earlier, but because people were more interested about the coding part, so I took it earlier. So this is how we're going to move it further, right?
Perfect. Thank you.
Talk about
Thank
it,
you.
yes.
Yeah.
Now there is one paper which is already been shared with all of you, and Monica ma'am, there is one paper that is of nurses. Can you just please share that?
Yes, I will, sir.
So the whistleblower paper.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. It's already there. I'll share it. I'll reshare it.
Right.
Yeah, it's there in the group again.
Okay. So I am sharing my screen again, right? So I hope it is visible.
Yes,
Yes, it is.
Right. Now see, if I'll just discuss this particular thing and then I'll connect it and then I'll come to that paper which I'm already working on, जिसका transcript मैंने आपको share किया है. So my understanding what the purpose of this research is. Explore the whys and wherefores of undertaking the act of whistleblowing by Indian nurses. Why they want to blow the whistle? What are the motivators and what are the demotivators? This is my research question. Now, if you have, I hope all of you have read it. So, moving ahead, so I have given a little bit why I'm researching and all that. So, I'm not going into that particular part. Now, these are initially, now you will going to say Now this is basically deductive approach. This paper is on deductive approach of qualitative research. Now, if I'll just explain it, I have given you that why I want to, in the introduction part, that what is the reason for doing research on whistleblowing, especially in India, that too in the healthcare sector, especially on the nurses. I gave that, you can say the background and the gap which has been there. Even I talked about the literature review. So ample of literature is available on whistleblowing, especially a lot of research has happened in the West. And also now in India, also lot many things are happening. So I gave a premise that already these are certain things. Now see, my topic is that what are the motivators and demotivators for nurses to blow the whistles? Am I right? Now you can see this is based on the past literature. Now there can be a question by the reviewer, जब already available है आप क्यों करना चाहते हैं? Motivators देखिए, patient advocacy है, moral ethics, better education, labeling, prophecy of no action. So you can see these are certain things that we have already identified. Now I have conducted, और मैंने यहाँ पे एक थ्योरी भी यूज की है जिसे हम कहते हैं पेशेंट एडवोकेसी थ्योरी है, जो हमने ऑलरेडी यहाँ पे यूज करी है। और इसमें हमने फर्दर हमें दिया है कि प्रिवेंस ऑफ ग्रीवेंस सेल, मोटिवेटर्स क्या है, वर्क कमिटमेंट है, लोकस ऑफ कंट्रोल है, बहुत सारी चीजें यहाँ पर आई हैं। अब जब मैंने अपना रैशनल अपनी स्टडी का दिया है तो मैंने दिया है कि हम क्यों करना चाहते हैं। अब यहाँ पे देखिए प्रीकर्सर्स क्या है और मिसकंडक्ट अंडर, पहले तो इंडिया में नहीं हुआ है बिकॉज इंडिया इज अ वेरी डिफरेंट कंट्री। फॉर एग्जांपल इट्स अ डेवलपिंग नेशन, डेवलपिंग नेशन को डेवलप्ड नेशन से यू कैन नॉट कंपेयर। और हम बहुत सारी रॉन्ग प्रैक्टिसेस देख रहे हैं, तो उसका मैंने पूरा बैकग्राउंड दिया है। अब ये मेरे दो रिसर्च क्वेश्चंस हैं। तो सबसे पहले जो भी प्रपोजल आप लोगों ने बनाया है अपनी रिसर्च के लिए, प्लीज मेक श्योर दैट यू आर वेरी वेरी क्लियर विद योर रिसर्च क्वेश्चंस, बिकॉज दे आर योर गाइडिंग लाइट। अगर रिसर्च क्वेश्चंस नहीं है तो कोडिंग भी नहीं होगी, कुछ नहीं होगा, बिकॉज देन वी आर नोवेयर। पता तो होना चाहिए ना कि हम कर क्या रहे हैं। तो मैंने इसमें आईपीए यूज किया है। इन दिस यू कैन सी, तो दिस इज माय रेस्पोंडेंट डेटा। अब यहाँ पे देखिए मैंने यहाँ पे रेस्पोंडेंट कोड भी डाला है। दैट मीन्स मैंने जिस जिस नर्सेस का भी मैंने इंटरव्यू किया है, मैंने उनकी रेस्पोंडेंट की प्रोफाइल डाली है, कितना एक्सपीरियंस है, किस तरीके के हॉस्पिटल में दे आर वर्किंग। लेकिन मैंने यहाँ पे किसी का नाम नहीं लिखा है। मैंने ये नहीं लिखा है कि किस हॉस्पिटल में काम करते हैं, किस लोकेशन पे काम करते हैं, बिकॉज द डेटा हैज बीन कलेक्टेड फ्रॉम पंजाब, बट आई हैव नॉट मेंशन कि पंजाब में किस डिस्ट्रिक्ट का है और किस डिस्ट्रिक्ट हॉस्पिटल का है। नाउ यू टेल मी फ्रॉम दिस पर्टिकुलर हेडर कैन यू आइडेंटिफाइड कि ये डेटा किससे लिया गया होगा?
We can't.
We can't
No, you
identify.
can't. That means that is anonymize करना पड़ेगा डेटा को आपको। तो आपने क्या करी ताकि आपको याद रहे, तो व्हाट यू हैव डन अ कोडिंग। तो आपने रेस्पोंडेंट को भी कोड किया, दैट कैन बी 0 1, ऑल डिपेंड्स ऑन यू। रेस्पोंडेंट 1 2 3, तो दिस इज सिंपल वन। तो मैंने 15 का किया इंटरव्यू, तो 15 रेस्पोंडेंट का मैंने यहाँ पे काम किया। अब फर्दर आते हैं। अब देखिए मैंने यहाँ पे सैंपल कनेक्ट किया, तो मैंने बोला कि मैंने इंटरव्यू लिए हैं, लेकिन मैंने उसके लिए परमिशन ली है। परमिशन लेने के बाद वॉलंटरी पार्टिसिपेशन था, किसी को फोर्स नहीं किया है। लेकिन इसके बाद मैंने क्या बोला, मैंने एक सेमी स्ट्रक्चर क्वेश्चनर भी बनाया, मैं इसको शेयर करूंगा आपको, इसका जो क्वेश्चनर है, ताकि आपको समझ में आ सके। तो इस पेपर को आप दोबारा से पढ़िएगा एक बार। तो मैंने बोला कि एक सेमी स्ट्रक्चर क्वेश्चनर मैंने बनाया है। डेटा कंसर्निंग द फैक्टर्स वेरिएबल विच माइट एक्ट एज अ मोटिवेटर्स। अब मैंने क्या बोला कि मैंने कुछ एक्सपर्ट से मैंने फीडबैक भी लिया कि जो मेरा क्वेश्चनर है क्या वो सही है, द काइंड ऑफ थिंग्स दैट आई वांट टू अंडरस्टैंड, कैन आई अंडरस्टैंड फ्रॉम देयर। और मैंने कुछ एकेडमिशियन से भी लिया है ताकि वो उसको कंसेप्चुअली थोड़ा वैलिडेट कर सके, द क्वेश्चन विच आई एम आस्किंग विल आई बी एबल टू गेट दैट काइंड ऑफ यू कैन से थिंग्स। एंड देन फर्दर डेटा एनालिसिस मैंने किया है, और ये मैंने यहाँ पे बताया कि मैंने कैसे कोडिंग की। आर दी स्टेप्स क्लियर? मैंने 4 स्टेप्स मैंने यहाँ पे बताए हैं इन द फोर्थ स्टेज। कि फर्स्ट स्टेज रीडिंग ऑल द पार्टिसिपेंट्स वर्बेटिम यू कैन से द ट्रांसक्रिप्ट्स, आइडेंटिफाई वाइटल थीम्स एंड एक्सप्रेशन, अंडरलाइंग फिनोमिनन, गेन इंसाइटफुल। सेकेंड स्टेज में इमर्जिंग थीम्स क्या है, सेव और मार्क अपॉन ट्रांसक्रिप्ट। थर्ड, आइडेंटिफाई द थीम्स मस्ट सेपरेटली नोटेड ऑन ट्रांसक्रिप्ट। तो हमने क्या किया, सिमिलैरिटी डिससिमिलरिटीज, मतलब हम यहाँ पे थीमेटिक हम कर रहे हैं यहाँ पे। फाइनली सब कुछ करने के बाद सबसे हमने पर्सपेक्टिव अंडरस्टैंड किया, एंड आफ्टर दैट ये मेरी थीम्स निकल कर आई। नाउ लेकिन ये मेरी फाइनल थीम्स हैं, इनिशियल थीम्स नहीं है मेरी ये। आर यू गेटिंग माई पॉइंट? These are my, so I had identified two major themes, motivators and demotivators. तो मैंने यहाँ पे दो themes ही बनाई हैं। अगर आप यहाँ देखें तो मोटिवेटर्स फॉर विसल ब्लोइंग फॉर नर्सेस, तो पहला क्या, प्रोफेशनल एथिक्स है, सपोर्ट, फीलिंग ऑफ रिवेंज। ये पहले किसी भी लिटरेचर में नहीं निकल कर आया है।
तो सर थीम के अंडर जो है ये क्या आपके सब थीम्स है सर?
राइट, करेक्ट। मोटिवेटर्स है, लेकिन मोटिवेटर्स में भी क्या क्या फैक्टर मोटिवेट कर रहा है हमको? अरे गेटिंग माय पॉइंट?
यस सर, यस सर।
अब हम मैं बात कर रहे हैं यहाँ पे डीमोटिवेटर, ये बड़ा कॉमन है। अगर आप देखेंगे ना, फियर ऑफ बीइंग हरास, सोशल इनसिक्योरिटी, कॉम्प्रोमाइज पर्सनल एंड सोशल पर्सनल फैमिली सेफ्टी, तो ये कुछ कुछ लिटरेचर में मिलता है, लेकिन ये मुझे लिटरेचर में नहीं मिला है। तो दैट इज अ कंट्रीब्यूशन दैट आई एम ट्राइंग टू मेक। अब यहाँ देखिए, मैंने यहाँ पे थ्योरी
सर
ली है
बोल सकते
ऑलरेडी।
हैं वो रिसर्चर्स कंट्रीब्यूशन है वो थी?
यस, एब्सोल्युटली, बिल्कुल बोल सकते हैं,
ओके।
बिल्कुल बोल सकते हैं। अब यहाँ पे जब हम बात कर रहे हैं, अब यहाँ देखिए मोटिवेटर्स मैंने निकाले, तो मैंने बोला ये फैक्टर्स हैं पेशेंट एडवोकेसी के। तो जो पेशेंट एडवोकेसी है वो अंडरलाइंग थ्योरी है जो कि उनको मोटिवेट कर रही है टू एक्ट इन अ सर्टेन मैनर। मतलब एक फिनोमिना जो अपीयर हो रहा है, दैट नर्सेज आर सेइंग दैट वी वुड लाइक टू ब्लो द विसल, दैट इज बिकॉज ऑफ द अंडरलाइंग फिनोमिना। फिनोमिना क्या है कि पेशेंट एडवोकेसी बहुत स्ट्रांग है, and there are existing, these are the existing motivators which will lead to whistleblowing intention of nurses। लेकिन कुछ डिमोटिवेटर्स भी हैं जो कि उसको आपको प्रिवेंट करेंगे, जिसे हम कहते हैं जॉब लॉस, फॉर एग्जांपल दिस। तो दिस इज माय प्रपोज्ड मॉडल which is based on research output।
So that means,
Am I clear
yeah.
up till here?
So, sir, that also means that while
Yeah,
to do the research methodology has been designed, and some of the
right,
articles and literature was being reviewed, as you said, the
right,
feeling of revenge point was never came out. So this is so if you really do that research methodology out of reading, then feeling of revenge would never have come out. Only
right,
it has come out because you have gone the other way. So
correct.
that is also one of the ways to look at the thing.
Absolutely. So you get some new and novel insights which other research might be not be telling you, right? Now,
Which is always desired, I believe, and any research should have that. I mean, am I right in understanding that?
absolutely, absolutely. Ultimately, why we are doing research? We are doing research not to gain some insights, and that my research can help some policy makers maybe to contribute in some way or another, right?
Right. And
Now you could see,
some questions like this paper of yours, is it also available in Google Scholar?
yeah, I have already shared it with you. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So now see, to validate whatever the points have been there, you can say I have also given, you can say the quotes. Now, from where this statement is coming? This statement is coming from the data that I have collected. Or you can say the statements which are given by the respondents. Can you see this?
I have one question.
Yeah.
Can I ask?
Yeah, ma'am. Yeah, please.
Yeah, sir, actually, when I looked at your data, you said that you stopped after reaching a particular saturation.
Right.
But
Right.
when we collected data, we contacted a couple of craft organizations.
Right.
However, only 4 of them agreed to participate in the study. And
Right.
so we did in-depth interviews with those 4.
Correct.
So how do I talk about data saturation in the paper?
Ma'am, in that case, then you have to target some more. For example, now you can move with the case study method you can then adopt. In case
Okay.
first your endeavor should be that you can like reach out to some more artisans who are ready to give you the kind of the data that you're looking for. That means who are ready for the interviews.
Okay.
In case you
Huh.
want to study, for example, the available data which is in there, then you can go with the case method also.
So then
Where you
in case method, if I do, because I
yeah,
have in-depth interviews and the transcripts are also quite rich. So you're
right.
saying in case method, I can do one paper for each of the crafts
Yes, absolutely,
organization?
ma'am. Yes, you
Okay,
can do that.
okay. And then when we do that, we have to compulsorily disclose the name of that crafts organization, right?
Absolutely, ma'am. Then you have to do
Correct,
that.
correct. Yeah,
Yes.
and that we have already taken, they are okay on it.
Yeah, ma'am. So that would be great.
So
Then you
will
can
it
move
be
with the
possible,
case.
sir, for you to share any paper which is on this particular line where you
Yes, ma'am.
write
I
it
have
as a
already
case
shared
method?
one. There is a case, there is one paper that of
Hmm.
Astitva case study.
Which you shared with us, Astitva. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So
So
you
on
just
those
go through
lines,
it first.
instead of writing one paper, we can actually
Yeah,
segregate into 4, right?
absolutely,
Oh,
absolutely.
that's
Yes.
nice. Okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Right.
Okay,
So
and
I'll
then
just go.
it's
Yeah.
not like a normal case paper, right? Which we write for IV.
No,
It's
no.
a research case.
It's a research case. So basically that's on NGO and
Huh.
they have also aligned it with one theory also, ma'am.
Okay, that's nice.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
So you will read
Okay.
it. So what we can do, we can take one case method also sometime so that in
Uh-huh.
this particular session, so that you can get more clarity also about that.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Welcome, ma'am.
Bye.
So I'll just see. Now see, I am talking about this particular variable, feeling of revenge. So now see what respondent have said. If I am forced to leave my job due to some other reasons, I would report and then leave the organization. If my colleagues try to put the blame on me for my wrongdoing and try to threaten me or blackmail me, I would report their misdeed to the appropriate authority. मैं वैसे नहीं करूंगा लेकिन वैसे जरूर करूंगा. Now everybody is not talking about it, but few people have talked about it. So they said, now that is why I have written the respondent shared unusual insights like if they are forced to leave their job or get terminated for other reasons. तो मतलब not for whistleblowing basically, for any other reason. They would like कि तूने भी तो ये गलत काम किया था, तूने भी तो wrong do किए है ना, तो I will go to report it. Now see, these kind of things are coming in. So very interesting insights you get, especially when you're going when the data analysis, especially, or you can say the coding process, right? So this is what the monetary process. Some people say that okay, we would like if we are getting financial motives, monetary incentives we are getting, so definitely that will going to motivate them to further. Swati ma'am, any questions? Okay. So this is how we have done. So I'm just closing this. So I'm talking this. This is a very recent paper, the study of C-suite leaders' individualistic and collective decision-making style, elaborate leaders' efficacy during crisis, that how people behave. Now see, I'll show you that what this is paper is based on grounded theory. So I'll just quickly go to the themes that they have identified. Now, relevance of grounded theory in the approach in the current study. So I'll request everyone to kindly just read this paper. Then I will come and take this grounded theory in one particular session. So interview schedule they have talked about, and this is the demographic which they have talked about, and the total sample size is 30. Data analysis they have done, and this is the initial. So they said that after rigorous analysis, 12 major themes emerged from the 46 first order concepts. 46 was their initial. That is further being taken to 12. And I think that is what we are talking about. Now you can see these are the final 12 major themes that they have taken. Drivers for decision making during crisis, environment of crisis, leaders' attitude, leaders' readiness. And in this, you could see this is how this is the data to indicating first order concept. Can you see this first order themes? I hope it is more visible now.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Now see, uncertainty, complexity, ambiguity, time sensitivity. Now you could just see and read this paper, and I'll request everyone to do just look at it. So what I'm doing, these are the initial. So are the keywords? These are the keywords, if I'm not wrong, these are the particular words that they have identified from the initial open coding. So this is first order concept you can say is open coding. Now from this particular words, now you can see that uncertainty, complexity, ambiguity, time sensitivity. Can I talk about VUCA? What is VUCA basically talking about? Environment, right? So they are talking about the environment of crisis. Now see, survival, opportunity, threat, mitigation. So now you can see there are 5 keywords which they have clubbed into drivers of decision making. So these are first order, you can say the keywords, that is an open coding. So from the open coding, they have gone to the second order thing, that is an axial coding. And then what have they have done? Then they were trying to make a sense that, okay, is there any, you can say, relationship between second order themes? And see, they have tried to identify second order themes. Environment of crisis and drivers of decision making. That means context of decision making. Leaders' attitude, leaders' attitude, leaders' reaction. So if HR people are there in this particular session, so you will understand we are talking about leaders' efficacy, because attitude, readiness, and reaction, they all lead to leaders' efficacy. Efficacy is basically a term which has been largely used, that self-belief, that is leader is having a self-belief that he or she can do whatever the task is assigned to him or her. So you could see, can you see the themes and how they're merging in each other?
Yes, totally.
Right? This is an actual paper. Now let's come to our data. जो टास्क मैंने आपको दिया था करने के लिए. Now let me use chat GPT now. And what you can do? Now, for example, I can upload certain files. So I am taking, so I think I have given you 4. So I'll take the 4 transcripts only. And I'm giving a prompt, identify and I have to tell him, tell the in tabular format I want it. Can you see this? Is it helping me out? Now, what are the initial themes that you people have identified from the transcript? Now you see, these are the initial, the first order themes you can say I have identified with the help of open coding. Now, again, I'm going to the second order, you can say awareness of pollution, so and so, lot many things have been there. And then I'm going to the third thing, that environmental consciousness, material. All right. So largely if I talk about what they're talking about. Now look at this summary. Environmental consciousness. So they're talking about awareness, reducing harm, impact on the environment, sustainability in choices, personal well-being. So they're talking about health benefits, emotional satisfaction, aesthetic preferences, ethical responsibility, concern for laborers, social responsibility and moral obligation, durability, cost effectiveness, and quality. Now this is what AI has given. Now I am just stop sharing. Now I want you people, like what coding you have done. I would like to see that whatever the codes we have developed, are they similar to what you have developed? What AI has given and what you have done, are they same? So any volunteers?
So we have basically done en vivo coding. So I have
Okay.
used the same verbatim that has been used in the transcripts.
Okay.
And the codes that have been
You
generated.
can share your screen in case you have prepared something.
Yes.
So I request some participants to just show me that how you have done it. So I told you that you can even use Chat GPT, but don't use it initially. First, do it on your own.
Sir,
Yeah.
these are my themes.
Okay.
I got the time to read just 2 transcripts only.
Okay. Done.
So these are the themes that I prepared from those transcripts.
Okay.
Uh,
So,
pri
okay.
But
So
I
are
don't
there
know.
similar, you can say keywords that you are able to identify? Are there some transcript in which you were able to identify more keywords in comparison to another?
Uh, sir,
Okay, just can you just drag it down?
sir, I just drag it. Okay.
Yeah. All right. So from transcript one, you are having almost around 24 around keywords that you have identified.
Yeah.
And you're able to identify, you can say around 20, 22, right?
Right.
So
Right.
when we're doing the same thing for the all the transcripts, so this is, which is this step? This is axial coding or this is open coding?
Open
Everyone,
coding.
this is open coding, right? Now, you have done it. All right, ma'am, you can stop sharing. I would like to just
Right.
ask the
Right.
other participants if they could also share
I'll do.
their end.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Ma'am, we can give rights to the candidates also so that they can share it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So I just request the participants if they have done this exercise. So I would like to just see that how they have done it.
I also did it, but I did it on Bharti ma'am's system. She's not there. But I did this in the same way, but I didn't prepare it in Excel though. I read the transcript. I tried to pull out information like this basic open coding kind of thing. That what are the terms that are visible, or maybe what are the feelings which are visible from the statements that the participants have said in their interview.
Okay.
So I just tried
So
to.
what are the initial number of themes that you were able to identify?
So approximately there were 10, 15 words which were commonly coming related to sustainable fashion,
Okay.
like price sensitivity. And there was more of, the texture. It gives me good confidence that the material is good and it's durable. Such
Okay.
words were coming up, and those were like 15, 20 words which came up initially from the statements that people said.
Okay.
So I did more of a thematic coding of the same. I can maybe show it to you. So I
Right.
did 3 transcripts. So instead of finding the words, so I just kind of got these. Let me just screen share if it's possible.
Right.
Sir, is it visible? Yeah. So this
Yeah.
is how I did it. So one was like motivations for purchasing, and
Okay.
then perceive attributes.
Right.
Out of this, one of the themes which you got it from ChatGPT was same which I labeled environment. Then there was something called ethical considerations,
Right.
first benefits that people saw from it, and economic consideration. And what was interesting that when I wrote these, the sub-themes or second one, I could see the relationship between it.
Right.
So, for instance, material quality and health was linked to economic considerations.
Right.
So,
Correct.
this is how at
So
least
you
I
have
did it.
used in vivo where you actually using the actual comment. So you can see the codes from the interview
Yes,
to do the
yes, yes.
initial coding, correct? So this is
Correct, correct.
very beautifully you have done it. So this is the first step that we all have to do, especially when we are going, you can say, for the coding process. That is the first step, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. So nice job. I mean, are there any other participants those who have done it? Any other volunteers? Okay, so any doubt regarding how coding is being done?
No,
Sir,
sir, absolutely.
so can I say?
Yeah, ma'am.
Actually, I understood the manual coding, but how do you talk about coding through AI?
Okay, so ma'am, as you could see, like I'll just show it again. I'm just sharing my screen. So ma'am, for example, I can simply go with the chat GPT again, right? So you could see that I have uploaded, you can say my 4 transcripts here. You could see this, which I have already shared with you.
Okay.
And then I gave a prompt, ma'am,
Okay.
right? Yeah, identify the first order. So what I can also do, I can see, identify the similar keywords across all the transcripts. So whatever the commands and prompts, ma'am, I will be giving it, you can see this is what they are talking about. Can you see this, ma'am?
Yeah, perfect.
Right? And even there is one more interesting feature that has been there, that is data analyst. This is a new one. So for example, sustainable fashion insights. So if I'm putting it here, so this is what I have done. And initially in the morning I gave this. So this is how it is coming in. So what I can do, I can give a prompt within ChatGPT itself. For that, ma'am, I don't need to like log in into NVivo or any kind of software, but with the help of ChatGPT itself or Copilot, I can do the needful.
So second part I didn't understand. Second analysis part is how to do?
Ma'am, for example, there is one more thing. For example, this is a data analyst ChatGPT. For example, again, what I can do, I can upload, you can say 1 or 2 transcripts here, right? I'm going here and now I can see that, okay, give me the major themes in the transcripts. Can you see this, ma'am?
Yeah, perfect. Okay.
And let me tell you from NVivo, this much is much easier to use.
Yeah, and you don't have to invest in that software.
Right. So you could say, ma'am, this is for 2 transcripts that I have done. Correct? Now, what you can do, you
Yeah.
can generate it with the help of AI, but you can, but also do manually, and then you
Yeah,
can merge
cross-check
the
it.
both.
Yeah, cross-check.
Cross-check. So what will happen, ma'am, that ultimately AI can generate anything. But ultimately, I have to cross-verify that, okay, is there something which AI is missing? Because ultimately, when I am reading the data myself, na, ma'am, I'll get better insights.
Yeah, and because we have taken those interviews,
Yeah.
it's easier for us to have the context. As you rightly mentioned yesterday, AI cannot give you the context.
No, they will not give you, ma'am.
Correct. So we'll be able to add in that perspective. Yeah.
Right, right. So is this clear, ma'am, how to give the prompts and all that? So your prompt has to be very, very
Perfect,
appropriate.
perfect. Yeah, perfect.
Right? Now, this is also, now you can see they're talking about fabric and material, right? Sustainable environment. They're talking about, now see, this is a major theme and these are the sub themes. So if I say, create a model out of this. So if I'm having this, ma'am, you can say, I can create with the help of image also, because this is the very basic version I'm using. So it won't. It can give you a model also, ma'am.
Okay.
Right? For
This
example, antecedent.
ChatGPT is a paid version which you have or the
Ma'am,
normal
this is
one?
the basic one I'm using, but in paid version, it is possible.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, paid version, it is possible. So if I'm saying give a uh, diagrammatic it is taking some time in a meanwhile. So, but it can give you, ma'am, that what I'm talking about, the conceptual model initially. Can you see this one?
Yeah, perfect. Correct.
So this can give me. So what I can do now, I can use this particular ma'am diagram in my research paper directly,
Yeah, that's nice.
right? So I hope this
Yeah.
will going to work better because NVivo will also going to generate similar kind of thing, but this is more comprehensive, I'll say. This is more easier to use and understand. Basically talking about sustainable clothing only, no? If I'm right. So these are sub themes and they all are merging into sustainable clothing. Can you see this? Now I
Perfect,
want all
perfect.
of you to again please relook into the data and then come back again and develop this kind of a diagram and let's discuss it tomorrow again, or you can just do it right now. What you have, whatever you have like analyzed, and what you have found, and what manually and what AI is finding. Is there a relationship? Now, please do one thing. You because you have already identified the initial open coding, you have already done. You have identified the themes. Now you can see, is this diagram making a sense or is it making some missing something? Can you see this? So just check the initial open codes or the keywords that you have identified. Are the keywords similar to what you have identified or are they correct? And is it making my work easy?
So the codes, the orange ones, high price sensitivity and limited availability. This
Yeah.
kind of it's presented as a negative thing, and the other ones it's presented in a positive way, right?
Right. So it
Okay.
all depends, man. So environmental consciousness, personal well-being, practical benefits. So I have to understand that whatever the codes AI has generated for me, is it actually valid?
So, and the similar thing like we just did just now that
Right.
we are creating these codes. So if we have to do the same thing in the software and Vivo,
Yeah.
in that case
Similar kind of things will come.
we create those open codes and then we put it into the software, or we
Absolutely,
do
yes.
manually
So
the
what happened when, let me just log in my NVivo if I'm able to. Uh, because I've already like put this data over there. So I'll just show you that how auto coding has been there. Uh, NVivo, I've already done that. It's taking me again to this file. It's again taking me to the same one. Okay.
So there is a message in the chat.
Okay. Yeah. I have annual coding of my PhD data. Can I share? Yeah, please.
Okay, thank you. Give me a second. I'm sharing my screen.
Sure.
Sorry. So these are all subcategories
Yeah.
and sub-themes, and that's the relationship between them, like
So
how
it
they are
is
connected.
similar to what AI has generated for us,
Yeah.
correct?
Exactly, same
Yeah.
thing. Even better, ChatGPT had more colors to it in the visualization, so I found it better.
Yeah.
Although I did it like years ago, it was back in 2018 as well, so it's
Right.
old data, not a new
So
one.
just adding here, so where you can see this child, na? This child is are basically sub-themes or subcategories.
Exactly, yeah.
In
Your
NVivo, the name is
terminology
totally
is the
different.
child code and parent code.
Right.
Hmm.
Parent code is basically the major themes. Child is sub-themes. Right? And what you can do, you can create a word cloud. So thank you.
I have word cloud also if you want me
Please
to.
just show it.
Yeah, she's got the PhD thing now, so she must be having everything related to that.
Correct.
Sorry. I'm not sure, it's not working. Let me reshare again.
Okay. And initially, because in AI version, I was telling you, I will show the word cloud there also in AI that how we can create that. Just simply give one prompt.
So right now in Vivo also there is an AI assistant kind of thing.
Yeah, ma'am, almost similar. But what I personally feel that you have to pay a very good amount for
Yeah,
NVivo.
definitely. That's true.
Can you
So
see my word cloud by any chance or no?
no,
We can't see your screen yet.
Okay. I'm trying to fix it. What about now?
Yes, it's there.
Yeah, now it is clear. Absolutely. Yes. Absolutely. It's very clear. So this is in NVivo software. Now, whatever she has already, Nisa has already shown you. Now, Nisha, thank you. Can you just stop sharing so that I can just tell it again in the AI also? Now I'm again
No
sharing my
worries.
screen.
No worries.
Now see. Now I am again moving to Chat GPT here. Can you see this is what I have given? I have given a comma prompt, create a word cloud out of the same. Is it looking better?
I would say more
Yes.
visually appealing, definitely.
It's actually
Yes.
appealing.
Right? So I hope now you are more confident, like at least in giving prompt. So your prompt has to be very, very appropriate. Now see, this is looking better. Now, but what you have to do is see, AI can give me my can do my initial work, but somewhere you have to understand, I have to validate it. AI will not going to validate it on your behalf. Which theme you want to keep and which theme you don't want to keep, that entirely depends on you. Now, let me just take that what initially we have coded manually for the same research. Now, see. Can you see my screen right now?
Yes, sir.
Now, see, this is what we have done. Respondent 1, 2, 3. Can you see?
Sir, have you
Almost
done
similar
this
kind of keywords.
manually?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is a similar, ma'am, transcript which I'm showing. So, but I'm having the all, so I'm just showing it here, like respondent 7. And now see, this is my initial coding that I have done. Can you see this? Initial coding. And then from there I am going. Now see my initial codes. How many are there? Can you see the number?
Yes, sir.
Does it make some sense? And when I'm trying to create some themes, now see, the number has gone down. The second order themes are less in comparison. If you want to count 2, 3, 2, 5, 6, 7, 9, 11, 11 and 3, 14, 16, almost 20, 26, right? But if you compare this one, the count is quite more if I am not wrong, correct?
Correct.
So this is my open coding, then I'm going to second one, but these are not my actual codes. These are not my actual codes which I am talking about. So if I'll just give you a little glimpse, I am already having that paper, but I will, so let me just share it a little bit so that you can get better clarity.
So, sir, can we conclude that previously I used to have a thought process that if I don't have NVO subscription, qualitative research cannot be done.
So that
So,
was a wrong misconception. That was a
yes,
misconception.
so definitely, can I say that without having subscription to NVO also, if a researcher can do qualitative research?
Absolutely. I hope I'm able to bust that myth now.
Yes, sir. Yes, definitely.
Right. Now I'll just show you that what are the various themes that we have identified. This is an actual paper which we are already working on. So you can see these are my actual findings. Theme 1, motivators for purchasing sustainable clothing. Can you see this? So all of you have identified pricing is a very prominent one. Correct? So I have kept it. But the second very prominent is with brand.
Correct.
Then I am saying social recognition and self-satisfaction. Third one, and I'm giving the quotes. Then comfort, quality, durability, well-being. So I'm talking about well-being. So when you saying no, it has to be good to my body and all that. Then timeless connection. क्या आपने किसी ने ये निकाला था कीवर्ड? बट इट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट इन दिस एंटायर रिसर्च. जब सारे ट्रांसक्रिप्ट आप पढ़ोगे, क्योंकि आपने सारे नहीं पढ़े हैं, ये हमारे सारे थीम्स निकल कर आ रहे हैं. रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी, कंसर्न फॉर पीपल. अब यहाँ पे देखिए हमने ये भी थीम निकाला है.
Sir, tell me one thing, please. Like if there is a focus group discussion where there are multiple people who are talking about it.
Right.
Now, in this case, we are taking individually and we are kind of merging everybody's thoughts together. So if it's a focus group discussion, how do we do this coding?
FGDs, it's very simple, मैम. आपके पास पार्टिसिपेंट्स तो बहुत सारे हैं ना, तो आप कभी भी जब लेते हो इस तरीके के, देखो पहले FGDs डिपेंड करता है व्हेन यू वांट टू गेट द व्यू ऑफ अ पर्सन, व्यू ऑफ द पीपल ऑन द सेम टॉपिक. पहला, राइट. सो जब आप FGDs करते हैं तो रिकॉर्डिंग करना बहुत जरूरी होता है. तो इसके लिए मैंने बोला है कि अगर आप आज के डेट में बड़े अच्छे टूल्स हैं, ओटर AI वर्क्स वेरी वेल. तो व्हाट यू कैन डू, यू कैन हैव एवरीबडी ऑनलाइन. You can ask question कि okay what participant 1 so and so. आपको तो पता है ना participant 1 कौन है, 2 कौन है. तो वो आपका जब कोड करेगा ना, मैं वो बोलेगा कि okay this person has said this, this person has said this. आपके पास सारा आ जाएगा. Then you can segregate it into categories. 5 लोग हो गए ना आपके पास सारे. So what you can do, you can just identify the categorize them into different participants. That means different categories, and according to then you can identify the themes. और वो निकल के आएगा आराम से. अभी जब हम जूम पे आपका ये मीटिंग कर रहे हैं, द बेस्ट पार्ट इज लास्ट में वो AI कंपेनियन समरी भी देता है. व्हाट डॉक्टर नरेंद्र टॉक्ड अबाउट, व्हाट पार्टिसिपेंट हैव टॉक्ड अबाउट. कल डॉक्टर मोनिका ने शेयर करी थी मेरे को. इज वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग. ओटर AI जो आपको ट्रांसक्रिप्ट मैंने भेजे हैं, दीज आर मेड बाय ओटर AI ओनली. किस समय पे कितने टाइम पे किसने क्या बोला है ये भी मेरे पास अवेलेबल है. तो मैम AI मेरे लिए ज्यादा यूजफुल है, to be very honest, to analyze it. Can you say this?
Definitely.
So it's not necessary कि आपको कोई टूल चाहिए ही चाहिए. Because there is a notion that has been there in the researchers, अरे उसके बिना काम कैसे होगा, अरे हो जाएगा। मैंने आपके सामने
तो
करके
जैसे
दिखाया
आप
है।
ऑनलाइन कह रहे हो कि ऑनलाइन हो जाएगी रिकॉर्डिंग, होटल विल डू दैट। ऑफलाइन केसेस
Right.
में क्या होगा? इफ ऑफलाइन वी गॉट 10 पार्टिसिपेंट्स, फोकस ग्रुप डिस्कशन है,
In that, then you have to take notes or you have to do the recordings,
so
but with permission.
we can just record it. Just for example, in the nurses whistleblowing case, so it's such a sensitive thing that people are involved in. So did you record that interview? People allowed you to
We made
record it?
notes.
Only notes. And
Many
from
people
those
don't allow you
notes,
to record.
obviously it's such a sensitive issue.
Yes, nobody.
So in
So in
such
that case, you
cases,
have to respect their privacy. You can't
definitely.
disclose their name. So you have to take their permission. That is a consent form has to be get filled before you conduct such kind of researches.
Because they can't trust in you just like that on such sensitive
Absolutely,
issues.
yes, absolutely.
So you just took notes and then you prepared the whole transcript on your own.
Yes. So we
From
have given
those
a
notes,
schedule kind of a thing. We talk to them. We make notes also. There was a questionnaire that was also given. I shared that questionnaire with you people. So you can have an idea, then you can relate it with my research. So what I'll do, I'll share that questionnaire with you. So tomorrow I will be talking largely, you can say, about questionnaire development.
okay.
So please come with your research questions that you are having, और आप मुझे करके भी बताएंगे कि कैसे आपने डेवलप किया है, right?
Okay, sir.
So
Good evening, sir. Good evening, sir.
good evening, ma'am. Yeah, Priya.
Sir, I have some question, please. I'm sorry if you have already covered that.
No,
Please,
no worries,
can you?
ma'am.
Sir, there is a option in the under chat GPT, that is data analyst.
Right.
How
ये
it
है ना,
comes, sir?
ma'am? I'm using that data analyst.
So how it has come? It's not shown in normal chat GPT
नहीं
interface.
दिखेगा मैम, आप नॉर्मल पे जाओ, एक्सप्लोर जीपीटीज पे जाइए, वीडियो एआई, कैन यू सी दिस? डेटा एनालिस्ट, क्रिएटिंग राइटिंग कोच, प्लांटी, कलरिंग बुक, सब कुछ है मैम। राइट फॉर मी, एआई ह्यूमनाइजर, यू कैन ह्यूमनाइज योर द वे यू राइट, एवरीथिंग इज देयर मैम। पेड वर्जन तो और भी अच्छा है।
So it's your free version, sir. It's your paid version.
ये फ्री वाला है मैम, मैं फ्री यूज करता हूँ।
फ्री में
मेरा
कौन
काम
सा
हो
वर्जन
जाता
है,
है।
सर?
सो आई हैव यूज्ड जेमिनाई, आई यूज कोपायलट, आई यूज एवरीथिंग।
Sir, which one is best?
Rachna, any
Copilot?
question?
Yes, sir.
Sir, I have some more question, please.
Yeah, Priya, tell me.
Sir, you have explained that you made the diagram visual representation of that cloud of words and the visual
Right.
appearance. So can we use it directly in a research paper?
Yes, you can
It will
use
be
that,
shown.
but you
It
have
will
to
be
make
shown
sure.
in plagiarism report. It will be shown as AI generated content and
No,
all.
no, it will not. It will not be like that. You can use that because that's an image, right? But you have to make sure that the image that you are using, is it reflecting the right thing that you want to display there?
So we have to make it as we reference, that is AI generated content.
No,
We
no,
have
no.
to make references.
What I'm
No
trying to
need
say,
of
you
that.
have to give a reference, but are you convinced that you want to use the same thing directly?
Suppose I want to use the same diagram.
Then you can use it.
So no problem. It will not show in plagiarism report that is AI
No,
generated
ma'am.
content.
Image doesn't come like that. Image का plagiarism नहीं होता, वो आपने generate करी है ना, कोई और किसी ने थोड़ी की है, और आपने account से की है।
Okay, sir, do you have an idea कि अगर मान लो कंटेंट भी है, कुछ कंटेंट हमने यही से जनरेट किया, जैसे अभी इसको हम डायरेक्टली रिसर्च पेपर में यूज करना चाह रहे हैं, तो वहीं प्लेगरिज्म रिपोर्ट में विल शोन इज की
मैम
यही
वो
कंटेंट।
आएगा तो देयर इज अ
हाउ कैन वी
पॉलिसी कि
ओवरकम?
कितना एआई यूज कर सकते हैं, तो जैसे मैंने बोला मैम, ओरिजिनलिटी हैज टू बी देयर। तो एआई आपको असिस्ट कर सकता है, लेकिन थॉट प्रोसेस हैज टू बी ओरिजिनल। यू कैन गिव अ डिस्क्लेमर, एक नोट दे सकते हैं दैट द एआई हैज बीन यूज्ड फॉर डेटा, फॉर एग्जांपल फॉर लैंग्वेज रिफाइनमेंट। दैट मेक सेंस। आइडिया आपका है, सब कुछ आपका है, लेकिन ये नहीं कि सारा पेपर ही एआई से लिखा हुआ हो। आर यू गेटिंग?
Yeah, okay. Somewhat contents we can provide.
हाँ,
मतलब we can.
somewhere you can take it. लैंग्वेज डिफाइन
Okay.
करनी है, ग्रामर चेक करना है, कर सकते हैं मैम, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है उसमें। ग्रामरली भी एआई पे बेस्ड है आपका। That's
सर
okay.
ये जो
Okay.
नोट है
Sir, hello.
सर कह रहा है
Sir, hello.
Yeah,
Sir,
yeah.
सर जो आपने आज किया है वो थोड़ा जो भी कमांड्स हैं
या इसका जो वीडियो सेशन है वो आप साथ के साथ शेयर कर देंगे प्लीज, मान लो कुछ मिस हो गया है या
Monica
कुछ इस तरह
ma'am,
से।
she will be sharing.
Sir,
ओके, या जो
actually,
कमांड्स आप दी
we were
हैं।
actually planning to do it in the end of the FDP program.
ओके, नो
After
प्रॉब्लम, बट जो कमांड्स आपने जैसे आज या जो एक समराइज फॉर्म में जो
that will
जो
be
भी
available in
है,
the recording only.
ओके, दैट विल बी शेयर्ड इन द ऑन द लास्ट डे।
Yeah, that will be shared in the last.
What I'll suggest प्रिया, आप जो मैंने आज कराया है आप इसे पहले खुद जाके करो आज घर पे, ठीक है?
हाँ हाँ सर, बस ये जो डाटा एनालिस्ट वाला है ना, उस पे जो आपने कमांड्स लिखी थी ना, वो शायद मुझे आई रिटन द मैसेज
Can you
की
see
प्लीज
this?
एक्सप्लेन इट
What I
अगेन।
gave, create a word cloud of the same. आगे
ओके,
आ जाते हैं, गिव अ विजुअल डायग्राम,
हाँ ये भी हो गया।
है ना? ऊपर आ जाते हैं, चलिए। फाइनल मॉडल स्ट्रक्चर इसने दे दिया मुझे। आर यू गेटिंग इट?
ओके ओके,
आगे
फाइनल
चलते हैं।
कंसेप्चुअल।
हाँ, कंसेप्चुअल फ्रेमवर्क दे दिया। मैं आगे आपको कमांड दिखाता हूँ, मैंने और भी दिए हैं। क्रिएट अ मॉडल आउट ऑफ दिस। ऊपर आ जाते हैं और छोटे छोटे प्रॉम्प्ट्स हैं, बट द प्रॉम्प्ट हैज टू बी वेरी आइडेंटिफाई द सिमिलर कीवर्ड्स अक्रॉस ऑल द ट्रांसक्रिप्ट्स।
ओके, यस,
दिस आर वेरी बेसिक। और यहाँ पे मैंने क्या
ओके।
दिया?
सर, I want to do research on sentiment analysis. So can you help in
ओके
that only?
ओके, डू सेंटिमेंट, एक मिनट रुकिए।
Sir, one query I have also. This is
या
Rachna here.
रचना।
Yeah. Sir, my question is, whenever we are uploading the research paper on general, there is one column where they are asking for whether there is any AI generated content or image taken. If yes, please specify.
यस,
So is it okay if we are writing there that we have
you have to
generated?
declare, ma'am. See, ultimately, again, I will say the same thing. What you are supposed to do, if you are making the entire paper, ma'am, that's a problem. अगर थोड़ा बहुत लिया है, then there is no need to just make the disclaimer. But in case you have taken some help, so you can write that the entire, see, उनमें लिखा रहता है कि आपका जो कंटेंट है वो तो सारा AI जनरेटेड नहीं है. That is what they want to know. But in case some image or something is you are using, so you can give a in note that I have generated, you can say, the figure with the help of AI. That's it. But the data and everything is mine only. So you have to give a particular statement that ways.
सर क्या उस केस में ह्यूमनाइज एआई जो आपने भी शो किया है एक्सप्लोर
You can
जीपीटी
use
में,
that.
उसको यूज नहीं कर सकते?
कर सकते हैं. That will
और फिर
humanize it.
और फिर उसके बाद वो एआई कंटेंट में नहीं शो होगा वो?
नहीं
या
होगा,
स्टिल इट
नहीं,
विल शो?
नहीं होगा.
आपको एक्सपीरियंस है मतलब?
बहुत ज्यादा है.
Sir, one
अच्छा,
thing more. You are using this Chat GPT, Gemini, and probably many more AI platforms. So which one is better? I mean, if you
Comparatively, if I'll say, तो I like ChatGPT better. Gemini was giving some, Gemini ना पैसे मांगने लग गया, तो मैं थोड़ा यूज कम करता हूँ. ChatGPT बहुत बढ़िया चलता है उस लिहाज से.
okay.
सर इन
फ्री
दिस
वर्जन भी
सेंटिमेंट,
देखिए, आपको मुझे सब दे रहा है ना जो मुझे चाहिए.
Yes, sir. Actually, today I joined late, sir. I was having class, so
ओके
I
ओके,
will be looking at the recording part, what you have covered.
नो वरीज. सो आज का होमवर्क सभी के लिए है कि लाइक आई वांट एवरीवन, लाइक वॉट एवर वी हैव कवर्ड टुडे, कि दैट
सर
काइंडली वर्क ऑन वॉट एवर वी आर डूइंग, राइट?
sir,
सो
one
जस्ट
last question please. You
या,
have given the command do the sentiment analysis. Will it be sufficient? I think we need some more.
no, you have to give more data, Priya, right? You have to give more data. This is what, that means you can do everything using AI. What is that is what I'm trying to say, right?
Sir, I have a humble suggestion,
Yeah.
right? In case your classes are very interesting, and the moment I am trying to go, to sleep, maybe I am trying to recollect certain things. In case it is possible, after each and every class, your presentations are also shared. I can actually rely on that, or replay that, because after 7 days or 5 days, if I have to do, maybe the fruitfulness may be a little less. So
Hmm.
that is one of my humble suggestions I have, that
Okay.
you can share the details every day after the class.
Okay, so better would be like if whatever the assignment I'm giving right now, to just do that. Reason being, Arvind, what will happen, because if I'm giving it, you just stuck to the PPT only. So first is go through the papers. That will be my submission first. Right?
Okay.
हाँ.
सर कैन यू प्लीज सजेस्ट हेलो
Yeah.
सर जैसे थोड़ा सा जो स्टडी किया था सेंटिमेंट एनालिसिस को, तो उसमें कुछ एमएल और डीप लर्निंग के मॉडल्स के अकॉर्डिंग कुछ ये ट्राई कर रहे थे कि कुछ उस पे अप्लाई करके फिर कुछ हम फाइंडिंग्स कर पाए। तो
Yeah.
क्या आप उसमें हेल्प करेंगे हमारा?
अगर आप पहले करके लेकर आइए, then we can do it. Look into it.
जैसे पाइथन में कोडिंग के थ्रू एमएल
पाइथन
मॉडल्स
में
हैं
भी
या
कर
डीप
सकते हैं मैम.
लर्निंग
देखो
मॉडल हैं।
टूल्स की आज की डेट में कमी नहीं है और एआई बहुत आपको हेल्पफुल हो जाता है. बट आपको यू हैव टू यूज इट वेरी केयरफुली बिकॉज आप बहुत इस पे ब्लाइंडली आप इसे ट्रस्ट नहीं कर सकते.
एआई मतलब ओनली
Absolutely.
चैट जीपीटी?
नहीं, एनी एआई मैम.
हाँ मतलब एनी एआई मॉडल।
Yeah,
तो
absolutely. You have to verify it as an individual, as a researcher.
ओके
देखिए, अब आपने देखा कि मैंने ट्रांसक्रिप्ट अपलोड करी तो मुझे काफी हेल्प मिल गई. अच्छा, इनिशियली ये चीज निकल कर आ रही है, बट डोंट यू थिंक ये मुझे मैनुअली भी थोड़ा करना चाहिए ताकि आई कैन हैव अ बेटर अंडरस्टैंडिंग. आई शुड रीड द डेटा प्रॉपर्ली.
यस यस इट शुड बी वेरीफाइड।
Yeah, it has to be verified. The verification has to be done by you. Nobody else can do. No AI model can do that for you. See, the codes that we have initially generated and the actual codes that we have used in a research paper, they are very different, which I have shown you. Some are similar, but some are different. The coding that I finally given, that is very different.
सर
Yes?
एक छोटा सा रिक्वेस्ट है, अगर एक जो डाटा सेट है उसमें सेंटिमेंट एनालिसिस करके आप फाइंडिंग करके हमें एक दिखा सकते हैं एग्जांपल इन द नेक्स्ट क्लास इन फर्दर
So what
क्लासेस?
I'll do, I'll just try to take, because वो हमने रखा नहीं है sentiment analysis. There are other topics also. So
ओके
what I'll do, so I will just finish my class today here itself. Now, one request, tomorrow there will be one another topic that I will be taking. So I will be going with the questionnaire development for your qualitative research, right?
ओके
So you all are requested to kindly bring your questionnaires that you have developed for your research. आपने क्या क्वेश्चनर बनाया है, so that we can have a more interactive session, right? तो यहाँ पे मैं कोई पीपीटी यूज नहीं करूंगा कल के सेशन के लिए as such, but I will take help of my questionnaires that I've already made, so which I will show you and I will share that also you with you as a sample, but not today. because पहले आप खुद करके लेकर आओ उसको, कि आप इनिशियली बनाइए उसको, एंड देन आई टेल यू दैट हाउ यू कैन ऑल्सो यूज एआई फॉर द सेम थिंग. तो पहले आप बनाइए, फिर एआई का इस्तेमाल करेंगे, देन एटलीस्ट दैट विल बी अ बेटर लर्निंग. करेक्ट?
सर प्लीज थोड़ा सा अगर पॉसिबल हो तो सेंटिमेंट एनालिसिस को कवर कर दीजिएगा प्लीज नेक्स्ट क्लास
चलिए
में।
ठीक है, द टाइम परमिट्स आई डू दैट.
ठीक है प्लीज कर सर,
तो
मैनेज करा दीजिएगा किसी और, यू कैन इजीली आई थिंक यू आर द
ओके,
डिसीजन मेकर प्लीज।
ऑल राइट.
थैंक यू सो
सो
मच सर।
thank you very much for everyone for your time and effort. So we like to end our session right now.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir. I hope no further questions.
No, thank you so much. Thanks a lot.
Actually, some participants are putting a request for the recordings in the chat box. I'll check. Actually, it takes 1.5 hours to
Right.
convert the recordings. So if it is feasible, by that time I sleep. Actually, I'm an early sleeper. So maybe it will take maybe a day or two to send the recordings. Otherwise, I'll be sending on daily basis now onwards. Right? Anything
Right.
else sir, you want to say?
So kindly just go through the papers that I've already shared with you, so that we can have some more conversations, because more the questions you will be asking, so I will be in a better position to help you in developing your paper. Make sense?
Yes, sir. It makes sense. And for sure, we have got some insights how to make the questions. And let's practice and get back to you tomorrow.
See, practice is the key. AI can make help me initially, but ultimately the call will be mine at how I want to present it.
Right, sir. Right, sir.
All right then. Thank you, everyone.
Anybody else? Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, participants, for being on board. Thank you so much, sir. Once again. Thank you, sir. Good night,
Thank you,
everyone.
sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Thanks. Good
everyone.
night.
Good night.
Thank you, sir.